Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this October 18th, 2022 meeting of the Gallatin City Council. It is 6:03 p.m., and we're going to call this meeting to order. We are not live on social media tonight. This meeting is being recorded, and it will be posted after the meeting. We were having some technical difficulties with the audio, and so rather than create frustration of people trying to watch on Facebook, we are going to wait and post it with the audio later. We're going to begin this meeting almost like we do every meeting. We're certainly going to begin with the prayer, and Councilman Alexander is going to offer the invocation for us this evening.
Let every heart pray. Eternal gracious God, once again, we come with thanksgiving in our hearts. We thank you for this evening. We thank you for this council and all that they do here in this city. I pray, oh God, for our troop 425 that are here with us tonight. Bless them in a mighty way. Allow all of our young people to do any and everything they can to make our city a better place. And Lord, let everything we do in this meeting will be pleasing in your sight this evening. I ask in Jesus' name, and every heart said,
Amen. And we have very special guests here with us this evening to lead us in the pledge. So I'm going to ask if Troop 425 from the Presbyterian Church here in Gallatin come forward. Thank you all for being here. I think everybody's going to want to know who you all are. So if you would you introduce yourself to us?
My name is William Riley Van Trees.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Jeremiah James.
Where does your dad work?
He works for the city.
Absolutely. He's fabulous and very involved in the city outside of work, and we appreciate that.
Caleb Matthews.
Nice to meet you.
Landon Henry.
Mr. Henry, lovely to meet you.
Braden Wolf.
Mr. Wolf, nice to meet you.
Ethan Wolf.
And your brothers, nice to meet you.
Gibson Bruce.
Nice to meet you. I know your dad as well. Actually, I know several of your parents, so you have good parents.
Hi, I'm Asa Adams.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Adams.
My name is Ian Adams.
Ian Adams, more brothers, right? Okay, I thought, whoa, I wasn't sure about that one. And you, sir?
I am Kenneth Henry.
Okay, do you want to introduce your troop leaders as well?
Yes. That is, there's my father right there. His name is also Kenneth Henry. Okay. There is the other scout leaders. Mr.
Bruce.
Yep, Mr. Bruce, Mr. Button, Mr. Wolf, and Miss.
Is Mr. James one?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I put you on the spot with that, and I apologize for that. So you guys are here to lead the pledge tonight. Is this part of your what training?
This is part of the Citizenship in the Community Merit Badge, and this is a Eagle required merit badge that we're doing, so we got to get that done. And yeah, it's kind of very important. So.
Well, how many of you have aspirations to continue through to become an Eagle Scout? Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Well, you know, we will celebrate with you when you become an Eagle Scout. And I thank you all for being here this evening. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to you, sir, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please face the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well done, gentlemen. Nice to meet you. And gentlemen, y'all may stay for the meeting or you may not, but we do appreciate you being here. Didn't they do a great job, everyone? Thank you all so much. Let me turn. Now, on our agenda for the evening, we have the roll call, and Ms. Kittrell is here. If you would call the roll for us, please.
Vice Mayor Fennell.
Here.
Councilman Alexander.
here.
Councilman Fan.
Here.
Councilwoman George.
Here.
Councilman Hayes.
Present.
Councilwoman Love.
Here.
And Councilman Overton.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you so much. You have no minutes this evening, so we will move on now to public recognition on agenda-related items. This is the time of the meeting that anyone who is here may speak to any item that's on the agenda. If it's not on the agenda, there's a period of time at the end of the meeting where you can speak to that. You'll have 5 minutes. We ask that you introduce yourself and give us your address, but right now, public recognition on agenda-related items is now open. Okay, I see no one indicating that they wish to speak, so I will declare public recognition on agenda-related items closed. And I will move now to mayor's comments. I do want to mention that today is a big day. David Brown has a birthday. I also want to mention, and I did not share this with you because it wasn't on our list, but it was Connie Flood's birthday on the 15th over the weekend. So happy belated birthday to Connie. Coming up on the 21st, we do have the Manufacturing Day breakfast. That's at the Tennessee Grasslands Club. This weekend is the Moonlight Market at the Gallatin Farmers Market. It may well be their last one, I'd suspect, because the weather's getting more chilly. Miracle League baseball game continues this weekend. There's also a Touch a Truck event happening at Triple Creek Park, both starting at 10 a.m. Cruise in again at the Civic Center this weekend. Fall Festival at Crestview Homes happening on the 25th from 4 to 7. There's also a special trunk or treat sponsored by the Gallatin High School at the Freshman Gym from 4:30 to 6. And trunk or treat on the 26th at Gallatin First Church of the Nazarene. There's a really neat event coming up at the First United Methodist Church across the street from us here. It's the male concert choir from Bath, England is going to be performing, and that is on the 27th. Trick-or-treating at Rosemont happens on the 28th. There's a Halloween Harvest Market Day at the Farmers Market on the 29th. Councilman Overton's birthday is on the 30th. Trunk-or-treat at Northfield Church is on the 30th. Sweet Treats on Main Street, which I guess is another trick-or-treating event at First Baptist Church. And then finally, trick-or-treat on the square is on the 31st, and that's from 10 until 2, right on our historic square. So I believe that's all the events that I need to mention. I do want to say a big thank you to the council members and the members of the community who attended the State of the City yesterday. It was, I thought it was a great event. I don't know how well the State of the City or how good the State of the City was, but
Was
I
wonderful.
enjoyed being at Northfield. They did a fabulous job for accommodating such a large crowd, and certainly their AV was pretty fancy for us. We were really pleased with that, and
It was one of the largest crowd they ever had.
it was the largest crowd that I think the chamber had ever hosted, but it was nice to be in a space that could hold that many. And of course, Chef Christopher did the catering, and it was fabulous, and just many, many good things with it. So thanks to everyone who participated to make that happen. At this time, I do have a special proclamation to present, so I'm going to ask the representatives from Home Safe to join me down here at the podium. Nice to meet you as well. I haven't even signed this. Your plan. I haven't signed it. We have plenty to share. You guys want to come around this way? So, oh, look.
I have my photographer.
Oh, you have your photographer as well. So tonight we have guests from Home Safe, and I'll let them introduce themselves and say a few words in just a minute. But tonight we're talking about Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we have a proclamation recognizing that. And so if you would indulge me to read this and then present it to you and allow you to say a few words and introduce everyone if you like. So So this says, whereas domestic violence impacts women, men, and children of every age, background, and belief, and whereas 1 in 3 women have experienced some form of physical abuse by an intimate partner, and whereas 72% of all murder-suicides involved an intimate partner, 94% of the victims of these crimes are women, and whereas during National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we reaffirm dedication to forging an America where no one suffers the hurt and hardship that domestic violence causes, and we recommit to doing everything in our power to uphold the basic human right to be free from violence and abuse. And whereas Home Safe, a nonprofit organization in Gallatin, is the only domestic prevention program serving Sumner, Robertson, and Wilson counties, and whereas Home Safe's mission is to provide safety and support to individuals impacted by domestic and sexual violence, foster survivors' healing and empowerment, and to promote nonviolence and social justice in our community. And whereas Home Safe offers many services to include a shelter, a court advocacy, individual counseling, and therapy to victims and children who have witnessed domestic violence, support groups, case management services, emergency transportation, and financial assistance, awareness, and prevention programs for youth and adults in the community, and training for other community agencies. Home Safe has a helpline available 24 hours a day and 7 days a week to offer assistance. And whereas the City of Gallatin joins Home Safe in its efforts to bring awareness to domestic violence, now therefore I, Paige Brown, Mayor of the City of Gallatin, ask citizens to join me in celebrating this October as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and call upon our community to observe this month and urge our citizens to speak out against domestic violence and support local efforts to assist victims of these crimes in finding the help and healing that they need. So I thank you all for bringing attention to this. I took pause when it said celebrating October, because that does not seem right, but I'd say recognizing this October as such. But I want to introduce Jacob Goins, who is the Executive Director of Home Safe, and I will let you introduce your board representatives and say whatever you would like to about Home Safe. And
We'll work it. Okay, go first.
Community partners.
Oh, community partners,
Yes,
okay.
we are.
You guys can go.
I'm misrepresented. So Karen,
Well, we can share. Karen Holmes and I, Bobby Shorston, are representatives of Women's Club of Hendersonville, which is a member of an international organization of women volunteers that's over 130 years old. So I would like to present your mayor, an inaugural Purple Pumpkin in recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I am the Domestic Violence Chair of the Women's Club, and Karen is the past chair of the Domestic Violence and Awareness Prevention party portion of our club. And we have just met Mr. Goings, and I am thrilled that he's here tonight and asked us to be liaison for him with the club.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for recognizing the impact that domestic violence is having on our community. Every day we see the vast impact that domestic violence has on lives, but we also see adaptation in the face of adversity. We see strength to take steps toward lives free from violence, and we see resilience that survivors have when they take these important steps every day. Home Safe was founded in 1983. We'll be turning 40 in February. And unfortunately, in all the time that we've been in the community, the problem of domestic violence has not gone down. Recent statistics for domestic violence in 2020, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations reported 2,752 cases of domestic violence in the 3 counties that we serve. And what we know about domestic violence is 75% of cases are unreported. So what we're seeing is nothing short of a public health crisis, and we can't meet the need alone. I appreciate you guys making the time to recognize the need of our community and reach out and partner with us. We're a small organization. We have 9 staff members total to meet the needs of all 3 counties. And everything that we can do to receive support from the community. We have a Partners in Peace program that allows us to meet survivors broader needs by partnering with local agencies that provide healthcare assistance, legal assistance, childcare assistance. The list goes on. What we know about the way that domestic violence affects survivors' lives is they strip away your access to your support system. A lot of times what we see over the course of years is there's financial abuse that leaves survivors with little to no resources to restart their lives. So again, we're a small organization. We really rely on the support from our community and our Partners in Peace program to help meet survivors' greater needs. Thank you for your time.
I want to say, ladies, thank you for the work that the Women's Club does. I love the significance of the Purple Pumpkin. Mr. Goins, thank you for your leadership, and thank you for the resource that Home Safe is for our community. I know that there's so much more than you can possibly serve, but hopefully as more organizations evolve and are willing to partner, the service can be extended and more lives positively impacted. So thank you for your work. And I think Mr. Henschel's going to take a photo for us. Yes. Do the pumpkin or what? Come on.
Okay, Scott, could I get you to do one too? Sure. He's under there too. I'm way out front. Here,
Let me get here. There we go.
Come on, let's take us. Okay, we'll move out. There we go.
This will be posted internationally, and and from Washington, so, just so you know. I just wanted you to know. I recognize you. She was our babysitter. I was a babysitter. Oh, wow. We had to fight our children.
I know a lot of people in this room are like now frightened to know that, yes, I actually babysat children growing up. No, I do remember babysitting her children. That's awesome. That was fun. All right, so that concludes Mayor's comments. We're going to move on now to the regular agenda. Item number 1 is second reading on ordinance 02209-49, and Councilman Alexander, you are recognized for that.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance of the City of Gallatin, Sumner County, Tennessee, rezoning 2 lots totaling 0.77 plus or minus acre from the R15 medium density residential district to the R10 medium density residential district, located west of Gwynn Avenue and north of Long Hollow Pike, authorizing the revision to be indicated on the official zoning atlas, repealing conflicting orders, providing for servability, and providing for an effective date, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Alexander, second by Councilman Fan. Are there any questions, comments? This is second reading on ordinance 02209-49. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. It does pass unanimously. Item number 2 is second reading on ordinance 02209-50. Councilman Hayes.
Yeah, this is an ordinance of the City of Gallatin, Tennessee, rezoning 2.77 acres from the RR Rural Residential District to the MRO Multiple Residential and Office District, and approval of the preliminary master development plan for Caldwell Place, comprising 17.87 acres located east of Cages Bend Road and south of Nashville Pike, authorizing the revision to be on the official zoning atlas, repealing conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Hayes, second by Councilman Alexander. Are there any questions? Okay, this is second reading on ordinance 02209-50. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. It passes second reading unanimously. Item 3 is second reading on ordinance 02209-52. Councilman Overton.
Thank you, Mayor. This ordinance, City of Gallatin, Sumner County, Tennessee, amending Article 2, definitions in Article 12, supplementary district regulations, Section 12.14, home occupations, of the Gallatin zoning orders, repealing conflict of ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. And I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Overton, second by Councilwoman George. Any discussion? This is second reading on ordinance 02209-52. In favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes second reading unanimously. Item 4 is second reading on ordinance 02209-53. Councilwoman Love.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating funds for 2022/2023 carryover capital projects. I so move.
Motion by Councilwoman Love, second by Councilman Hayes. Are there any questions, discussion? Total of $2.2 million carrying over. All in favor of second reading on ordinance 02209-53, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It passes unanimously. Item 5 is second reading on ordinance 02210-55. Councilman Fan.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating $2,777.19 from revenue received for insurance recoveries. I so move, but what are we appropriating to?
This one's for Parks and Recreation, as I understand, and it's going into the Park Maintenance Department. And what they discussed last week, if I recall correctly, was that it was going to be used for, no, that was the different one. That was the sale. So this is just to cover the cost of the repairs. That's usually how the insurance recoveries go.
I second.
I don't know what the specific claim was. Two wrecked trucks, so that pays to repair the wrecked trucks.
I second.
Okay, motion by Councilman Fan, second by Councilman Alexander. Any discussion? It's second reading on ordinance 02210-55. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Passes unanimously. Item number 6 is second reading on ordinance 02210-56. Vice Mayor Fennell.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating $8,462.88 from the general fund to Miracle League supplies. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Vice Mayor Fennell, second by Councilman Overton. Any discussion on this? This is second reading on ordinance 02210-56. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Passes unanimously. Item 7 is first reading on ordinance 02210-57. Councilwoman George.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating funds received in the amount of $1,010 from insurance claims for damage to a pedestrian pole. I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman George, second by Councilwoman Love. Any questions? First reading on ordinance 02210-57. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. First reading passes unanimously. Item 8 is first reading on ordinance 02210-58. Councilman Alexander.
Thank you, Mayor. This is appropriating $500,000 for the Community Development Block Grant awarded by the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development, and I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Alexander, second by Councilwoman Love. Is there any discussion? This is pretty exciting. I mean, what this money is going to be used for as the daycare. That's a great grant for us to have received, going for an even greater cause. Yeah, at the Shalom Zone. Anything else? All right, this is first reading on ordinance 02210-58. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. It passes unanimously. Item 9 is first reading on ordinance 02210-59. Councilman Hayes.
Yes, this is an ordinance appropriating, this is an ordinance appropriating $3,676 from revenue received from insurance recovery. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Hayes, second by Councilman Alexander. This is for repair of a wall, an entrance gate at Long Hollow Golf Course. Oh, that's right, you said somebody drove through it or drove out of it without it opening, so. Okay, motion and second. All in favor, or any questions? It's first reading on ordinance 02210-59. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, please say no. It passes unanimously. Item 10 is first reading on ordinance 02210-60. Councilman Fan.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating $368.26 from revenue received for insurance recovery, and I so move.
Motion by Councilman Fan, second by Councilman Alexander. This one is for equipment replacement due to lightning. Any questions on that? It's first reading on ordinance 02210-60. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. It passes unanimously. Item 11 is first reading on ordinance 02210-61. Vice Mayor Fennell.
Yes, Mayor. This is an ordinance appropriating funds for revenue received by sale of surplus property. Motion to approve.
Motion by Vice Mayor Fennell, second by Councilman Alexander, and this is the one that I was speaking of. Typically, when we do surplus sales, we take it back to the general fund, but in this case, they're going to be used to improve some ball fields and replace a park vehicle, and you all are supporting doing that with this vote. So this is first reading on ordinance 02210-61. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. It passes unanimously. Item 12 is first reading on ordinance 02210-62. Councilwoman George.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ordinance establishing engineering division development fees, adopting fee schedule, and amending the municipal code to reflect the new fees. I so move.
Second.
Motion by Councilwoman George, second by Councilman Overton. Questions, discussion, comments? Has anyone heard much feedback from this?
None whatsoever.
I have a question, and I know that we've changed the way we do everything as far as annexing before we know about projects or whatever.
This is on
This is
development
fees.
fees.
Oh, I'm on the wrong one then.
Yeah, that's number 12.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've got it right here in front of me, too.
I did want to mention that this one was brought up under other business, but it was discussed last week, and you did move it on to council.
Right.
It had been discussed prior at a work session when they initially presented it. Okay, so this is first reading. It's ordinance 02210-62. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It passes unanimously. Item 13 is resolution R2206-50. Councilwoman George, you are recognized again.
Thank you again, Mayor. I would like to discuss Resolution 13 and 14 together because they're relative to the same item. And I know that we have, should I read the whole thing? Ms.
Well, you know, you can read what the resolutions are for, but remember, we're not voting on the resolutions. I think you're going to make a motion to reconsider. I'm not certain what's happening, but I think that's what was put on the agenda.
Yes, okay. So I'll read both of them then. Resolution number R2206-50, a resolution of the City of Gallatin, Sumner County, Tennessee, adopting a plan of services for the annexation of a 5.18 acre parcel, tax map 112, parcel 043-1, located north of Hartsville Pike and east of Airport Road, and providing for an effective date. Resolution number R2206-51 is a resolution of the City of Gallatin, Sumner County, Tennessee, annexing 5.18 acre parcel, tax map 112, parcel 043.01, located north of Hartsville Pike and east of Airport Road into the City of Gallatin, authorizing the annexed property to be indicated in the official zoning atlas, authorizing the assignment of annexed area to a council district, repealing conflicting ordinances, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. And I would like to bring this up for reconsideration, and I believe that we have some people from this development to address us.
Do you want to go ahead and make your motion at this time?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to have it reconsidered.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then I think she's asking to waive the rules to allow the developer to come forward?
Yes, please.
We have a motion to reconsider, a second by Councilman Overton, and then you're asking to suspend the rules and allow the developers to speak and I think share some information, but anyway, or we'll take this as we go, gentlemen. So with no objection, we will allow these folks to speak, or do you want to vote on it? What's the will of this body? All in favor of allowing them to speak, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Gentlemen, welcome this evening. Please introduce yourselves and share with us what you wish.
Thank you. My name is Greg Smith. I'm the property owner for the 5-acre tract that we're speaking of. Appreciate the opportunity to get up and speak again. We have actually kind of decided to take kind of a different a route with this property. We've actually have the Bledsoe Springs property under contract right now to purchase and to develop. And what I'd really like to do is bring this 5-acre tract into the Bledsoe Springs development, make it part of it, maybe a different product type. But I think what we'd really like to have the opportunity to do is take some time and come up with a revised design that we could present to the council for reconsideration that I think it would solve some of the concerns that have been voiced with the council for traffic flow and overall look and feel of the project and things like that. So I guess we would just ask for some more time to be able to come up with that and to come back and present it.
So it sounds to me that the best course might be to defer.
For a month?
Well, wait, we need to vote on the
Right,
reconsideration.
we have a motion and a second for reconsideration. So I guess the proper movement at this point would be to vote on that. So any questions before I ask you to vote on reconsidering?
I do, Mayor. I don't think we're reconsidering this, whether we're going to put it in the city or not on the development itself. We're just voting on considering putting it in the city.
But I think what they are indicating is that they're going to bring us new information, which will be the basis on whether or not to. All we're voting on tonight is the reconsideration of it.
That's correct.
And if we vote to reconsider it, then this will be placed on some future council meeting with whatever your proposal might be, and then we would actually consider that. But in voting to reconsider, you are not voting to say we are passing these two things.
I just want to be sure
we will reconsider.
Right.
We clarified that. So
We're only reconsidering hearing what these guys have to say later. That's all we're voting to do. Okay.
And can we choose a date, like November 15th or so?
Do you all have a time frame in which you require preparation or
Andy, when y'all going to bring it back through the planning?
want to contact
We were
us?
hopeful to bring it back to here. Andy Leith, Greenlee Design, representing the developer here. We run the impression to come back to here if you guys want to, with the new process.
But with what, is a month enough time? Or do you want 45 days, or do you want 60 days, or?
At November 15th, we'll make it work.
November 15th? Okay.
So we would put it on this meeting. If something were to change, we could defer that if we needed to.
November the 15th, okay.
Okay, so right now we are voting on the motion to reconsider, and if you vote yes, then that would mean that you would hear their proposal at the November 15th meeting and vote yea or nay on the annexation at that point. Even at that point, you're not voting on the project. You're just hearing what they're proposing at that point. So all in favor of reconsidering, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Reconsideration passes. We will put you on the agenda for the November 15th meeting, and we look forward to seeing your amended proposal. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Okay. That takes us now to, I know, it was a little confusing. Well, we're dealing with a new process, and we haven't
This is not part of the new process.
Right. But I'm saying, okay, the annexation is the new process, but then on top of that, we're talking about reconsideration,
Yeah.
which I can think of one reconsideration. It was done in the same meeting, and that was a long time ago. So anyway, we move on now to item 15, which is Resolution R2210-71. Councilman Overton, you can take it.
Mayor, I want to defer this indefinitely, please.
Defer.
Second.
Indefinitely.
Oh, you deferred it indefinitely?
What, number 15?
Yes.
Oh,
Donation of lights, I think.
okay.
Mr. Brown is still navigating that. Okay, so motion to defer, I have a second. Any discussion? Vote on deferring Resolution R2210-71. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It is deferred indefinitely until we hear different. Item number 6 is Resolution R2210-73. Councilman Hayes.
Yeah, this is a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with the state of Tennessee for construction of the Nashville Pike Bridge over East Fork Station Camp Creek to be carried out in accordance with the intent of General Assembly of the state. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Hayes, second by Councilman Fan. Any questions, discussion?
Is that the bridge that's right there, like right past my office?
Liberty Branch, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think, yeah. Yeah, okay.
That's the East Fork.
Yeah.
West Fork is the one, the next one, is it?
Nat Caldwell.
Yeah.
So is Nat Caldwell going to be reconditioned also?
Yeah.
That's the way, we're still navigating. We actually have a meeting, I think, next week
Nat
with the
Caldwell's
Corps
the one
on
right before you-
Nat Caldwell.
Right before you.
Totally different project, but this is about the bike and ped stuff and the road.
Yeah, we know that.
Corps meeting? Okay, yes.
So we're still trying to move forward on the redevelopment of that park? Okay, good.
Okay.
Relevant to that road, so.
Forever and ever and ever.
Not giving up. Not giving up. I think we heard the state of the city yesterday. I said, we're determined and full of grit. We're going to get it.
Yeah.
May not be in
Motion
my
to approve.
lifetime, but you know.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second on Resolution R2210-73. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It does pass unanimously. We will sign that contract. Item 17 is Resolution R2210-74. That's your next bridge, Councilman Hayes.
Yeah, this resolution authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with the state of Tennessee for construction of the Nashville Pike Bridge over West Fork Station Camp Creek to be carried out in accordance with the intent of the General Assembly of the state. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Overton, motion by Councilman Hayes, second by Vice Mayor Fennell. Any discussion? All right, Resolution R2210-74, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It is passed unanimously. Item 18 is Resolution R2210-75, Councilwoman Love.
Thank you. This is a resolution authorizing the City of Gallatin to participate in the Public Entity Partners Driver Safety Matching Grant Program, and I so move.
Motion by Councilwoman Love, second by Councilman Hayes. Any discussion? All right, Resolution R2210-75, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It passes unanimously. Item 19, Resolution R2210-76, Councilman Alexander.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. This is a resolution approving indemnity and holding harmless agreement with Certificate of Liberty of liability insurance to use the city maintenance right-of-way of West Abbott Gallatin Avenue for the installation and maintenance of landscaping. I so move.
Okay, motion by Councilman Alexander, second by Councilwoman Love. Questions, discussion on this?
Is that what we talked about putting that in the middle of the road?
Well, this is the installation on the Nexus development that they will maintain, so. All right, Resolution R2210-76, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Passes unanimously. That concludes the regular agenda. Brings us now to other business, and so I would ask if there's any member of this council that has any other business.
I do, Mayor. If I could, I have a street closure asked for by First Baptist Church on Main Street on Sunday, October the 30th, from 4 to 7 p.m. For the Fall Festival. All the signatures have been done. The street's going to be East Smith Street from South Boyers to Chegg Street. I so move.
Got the signatures from the
Yes,
department
ma'am.
heads and
All of them.
everything? Okay, good.
Thank you.
You want to give that to me after the meeting, and I'll put it in my folder to go
I will.
back to Angela, so she'll send that out. Okay, motion and second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, say no. That's approved. Any other business from the council? Councilman Alexander.
I have a couple, of which is sad news. A good friend of mine that I worked with at Donna Printing Company for a number of years, Pat Daughtry, as most people know her, passed away this morning about 7 o'clock. She married B. Bout. So we ask you to pray for her son and daughter, Drew Daughtry, and also her daughter, Amanda. She's a very good friend of mine, so please keep her in your prayers. And also a young man by the name of Brian Dalton. He worked with Faith Heating and Air, him and Mr. William Holman. Mr. Dalton passed away, just turned 50, so we ask you to pray for his mother, Laura, and the entire Holman family. So please keep those two families in your prayers.
Thank you. Anyone else? I will share that earlier today we attended Mr. Tuttle, Ms. Ogden, and Mr. McCord and I were all at the Power of 10 conference. It was really interesting. The mayor of Carmel, Indiana spoke. So I think a lot of us had talked about going to Carmel. Mr. McCord's been talking about Carmel for a long time. The mayor was truly fascinating. He's an architect and lawyer, and he's been the mayor for 27 years, and he's retiring, and that community is just really one that people love. I've never been there, but I've heard great things about it.
Carmel, Indiana. So where is that in relations to Indianapolis?
I don't know.
The left.
They're in the same state.
I'm geographically challenged. But when I did the Mayor's Institute on City Design in Columbus, Indiana, they talked a lot about Carmel and kind of how well designed that community was. But it was really interesting to hear him talk about they became such a highly desirable location for really good jobs and probably more affluent people, that they would just say, we'll only consider your project if you use these architects. And they really focused their redevelopment around their downtown, and they didn't have an historic downtown. So it was fascinating to see how they drove that. Of course, their annexation laws are different in Indiana. They don't have urban growth boundaries. And so, and then the cost to get infrastructure out really does drive people more towards their core which is real different than what we have. And so some of the things that they were talking about, the Indiana laws, of course, their revenue streams are real different too, because they have a local income tax. But anyway, it was just fascinating to hear, and I really do think that at some point in the future, it would be beneficial for some of our staff and some of our council members to field trip it. He also said he'd be happy to come here and speak with us. So.
What is their population, you know?
It's 105,000, so I don't see us getting that big, but they were the size we were when he started in office 30 years ago. So it was interesting. I was honored to be. I actually did a panel with Mayor Bell from Lebanon and Mayor McFarland from Murfreesboro. So that was fun. And I don't think I embarrassed Mr. McCord or Mr. Tuttle too much. So.
Oh, one other thing.
All right.
Could I ask Mr. Brown, could you give us an update, or somebody give us an update on Clearview Park?
I can do that. If you're asking about the contract, that was approved last Wednesday, and it was taken to the mayor's office. I think she has signed off on it, and I think it's in the recorder's office to be signed, and then we'll be ready to go.
Super. All right. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we will move now to public recognition on non-agenda related items. Certainly invite our Boy Scouts to come back up here if they would like to. If you guys, you don't have to. I'm just saying if you would like to speak, this would be a good opportunity for you. But this is for non-agenda related items. I'm really impressed that you stayed the whole meeting. Again, you can speak to any item on the agenda. You'll have 5 minutes. You need to give us your name and address.
Patrick Reeners, 317 Malone Drive, and to God of my country, I was in the same place. And I heard my granddaddy was the first Eagle Scout in New York State, but I haven't confirmed it. But one thing I want to say is, you know, that's why I try not to sit into the whole city meeting, because I get derailed from my thoughts. And for one, I know that this is a meeting of people, not horses. And you think, what do you mean horses? Well, I seen a video probably about a couple hours ago, and I researched it. And you gotta like whip a horse. You gotta like whip it in the shins to get it to jump, because they're not made to jump. People ain't like that. It's illegal. You can't whip a person. You can't take a city and whip it in the way you want with no facts, no evidence. People need to quit playing, because this city tries to help people. I fought for this city for years. Get someone to come up here and talk some, I almost said it, some lies, and think that just because they might come from a country where they might force them to run and jump. You can't force these people to run and jump. I don't care how big your whip is. And I got a shirt over there that my buddy wore, to fight for the rights. That I had a person running for election in this city call the police on me for a legal sign. So I'm not trying to talk about French fries or crepes, but the deal is we're not horses. Can't whip us. Have a good night.
Anyone else like to speak under public recognition on non-agenda related items?
Hello. My name's Gibson Bruce, Brandon Mill Road, 149. I'm from Troop 425. I think that people here are the people of Gallatin. They're not from people from Hendersonville. They're not from people from anywhere else. We're the people from Gallatin, and we need to be proud of that. It's not about how many times you say, hey, I won Best Student of the Month. You should be proud of that. But you should also be proud that you are from Gallatin, and that is the place that we all love.
Woohoo! Mr. Bruce, you just won the meeting. Thank you so much. We need to let you lead next time. That was fabulous. Thank you. Anyone else dare to follow that? All right. Anyone with another motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, second. All in favor, please say aye. Ladies and gentlemen, we're adjourned. Everybody have a good evening, and be proud that you're from Gallatin. Thank you.